All right, what's up, guys? So here's the thing. I know I'm gonna come off as a Kendrick Lamar fan in this video. It's because I am a Kendrick Lamar fan. I'm not gonna lie, deny it. Try to be like, oh well, I'm a fan, but no, I'm a flat out fan of Kendrick Lamar. So I know there's gonna be people out there wanting to argue with me in the comment sections. I'm not seeking out no argument as I'm doing this video. I'm just overall trying to defend Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance because no, there's like a lot of mixed reviews about it. More so like I ain't even talking to the people out there that did enjoy his halftime performance because I enjoyed it. I don't know what everybody else is talking about, but I enjoyed his halftime performance. And that's not even from a fan's perspective. That's just overall seeing it as like, okay, it wasn't like he went up there and made a fool out of himself or he wasn't rapping along to his music and stuff. I'm like, for anything, I had to give this man credit for being able to, because I don't know, with me, I'm not a fan of like clean version of music. Like when I'm listening to music, I'm like, I want to hear how this song was recorded. I'm not trying to hear an alternate version to please people. But yeah, overall, yes, kids is watching, so he can't be doing a whole lot of cussing and things. No cussing at all. But overall, though, I'm like, if there was anything that I could complain about with the halftime performance, it would be that. But overall, as far as the songs that were performed, all the songs that he performed, I was like, I'm a fan of them all. I had to say probably the one song that I don't listen to as much was the song that he performed with SZA. Not Luther, but the next song, All the Stars. So yeah, that was probably the only song. But other than that, every song I was a fan of. Are there some songs I would have wanted to hear? Yes. But overall, it's like that's something that I noticed with artists is that whatever music that they just recently released, that's most likely going to be the songs that they're going to be performing at a concert or, and I guess, yeah, if they have like some greatest hits, then they're going to perform those songs too. But overall, though, I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a problem with the songs that were performed and stuff, but yeah, there are people out there that had an issue with the songs, and that would be my question, would be what was wrong with the songs? Oh, I didn't understand anything that he was talking about. Okay, well then go on genius.com and read the lyrics. Like that's a website where it gives you an explanation on all the lyrics, on all the stuff that was being said. And if you still have a problem with the music that was performed, then yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, the music wasn't created to satisfy you. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people need to understand. Like even just using me as an example when it comes down to my content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, I'm not going to be able to satisfy everybody with my content. But there are going to be people out there that's going to be a fan of my content satisfied. They ain't going to care what I'm up there doing, all right? They're still going to show support to me regardless. And I think that's the only thing that really matters when we see Kendrick Lamar on I ain't going to say it's going to be the biggest stage in his career, but it's going to definitely be one of the biggest stages in his career. So at the end of the day, I'm just happy to see him out there winning. And yeah, just having it where there's people out here trying to discredit like, oh, the crowd wasn't really into the performance. Yet this man, isn't he like now I think, yeah, he done passed Michael Jackson's views when it comes to a halftime performance. And it's like, I don't know if that's including like everything's all together, like, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and anywhere else NFL is, yeah, I guess like their own website. But overall, it's like, he had one of the most viewed halftime performances, if not the most viewed halftime performance. So my thing is this: it's like how it's in them because I know people are gonna probably be like, oh, that's because he performed Not Like Us. I feel like even without that song, Not Like Us, the halftime performance was still good. You have Samuel L. Jackson, okay, being a part of your halftime performance show. That's something where I'm like, I haven't really sat down and paid attention to too many halftime performances, but I had to say, for you to be able to get Samuel L. Jackson, an all-time great actor, I feel like that my thing is this, all right? And let's just overall talk on, I guess, the planning of having Kendrick Lamar perform during the halftime show, all right? So, yeah, I imagine NFL, they contacted Kendrick Lamar. They say, yeah, we want you to do this halftime performance show. So, yeah, overall, it's like, get ready, call whoever you need to call, gather up whatever you need to gather, create whatever you need to create. But overall, we got to have you do this halftime performance show. So I imagine that NFL, they went through extensive, explanations from Kendrick Lamar on what he's going to perform, what he's going to have, what he's going to do, the background dancers, features, all that stuff. Like I imagine that they went through extensive practice, all that stuff. And there was probably some NFL representatives that was there to watch all of that and see like, okay, this is what he's going to be doing. This is what he's going to be performing, all that stuff. They gave him the green light to perform all of that. So I look at it as like, okay, if the NFL is cool with it, if there wasn't no issues, is me being a Kendrick Lamar fan, I ain't seeing any issues. How is it a bad performance? I guess to those out there that are not a Kendrick Lamar fan, you're going to be the only one saying that it's not. But it just trips me out that there's even people out there. What about that one lady? Looked like she could have been a grandmother or something. But she up there dancing to Peekaboo. That was something where I'm like, man, I feel like when you see things like that, then that's how you know that the halftime performance was good. This woman probably didn't even know who Kendrick, I mean, maybe she might be a Kendrick Lamar fan. I don't know. But it'd just be crazy to me where it's like, she doesn't even know who Kendrick Lamar was, and that's her first time ever hearing his music, and she's dancing as if she's been listening to the music, I guess, since the start of his career. And that's something where I'm like, man, it's just, why can't people be happy for this guy? Like, he just had one of the most successful moments of his, or he got to experience one of the most successful things in his career, and people are trying to downplay it. And that's why I'm like, yeah, it's just something where I'm like, you know what? If you got ill feelings towards his halftime performance or, halftime show, that's on you. But overall, the songs that were performed, from the dancing, the messages, all that stuff, I'm like, there was absolutely nothing wrong with his halftime performance, all right? And I feel like even if I wasn't a Kendrick Lamar fan, let's say I was more of and I feel like the people that are like Drake fans trying to downplay Kendrick Lamar's performance, it's like, you guys know that his performance was good. I ain't even trying to hear I'm not hearing absolutely nothing that any Drake fan has to say about. And the thing is this, and I know people are probably going to be thinking that too, Drake would have had a much more better performance. Do you honestly think, all right, let's just sit down and lay out this scale right now, right? Let's just lay out this scenario. Drake gets announced for doing a halftime performance. I imagine that it's most likely going to be good, all right? Do you honestly think, let's say it's Philadelphia, Kansas City, it's like, same Super Bowl, all that stuff, but overall, they're, Kansas City, they're down by however many points they were down, because, Kansas City, they ain't do so hot. But anyways, do you think during that halftime show, it's like, okay, let's get hyped. I know Drake, he's gonna hype us up with our with his music and stuff. So let's just let's wait till this halftime show. Let's get all pumped up for whatever music that starts playing. Bro starts playing Marvin's Room. Do you honestly think me, like, let me just put myself in that scenario, me being a running back, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my game right now for Kansas City. I'm like, dang, man, I gotta listen to some Drake and get hyped up, so I'm gonna experience this halftime performance. He starts playing Marvin's Room. I'm like, well, that pretty much that ends our our Super Bowl. If we were gonna have a Super Bowl victory, that's out the window now. I'm depressed. I'm like, listening to Marvin's Room. So that's what I'm saying. Now I know people are gonna be all like, oh well, Luther, I'm like, that ain't no depressing song. I'm like, anytime I listen to Luther or any other Kendrick Lamar song, I don't feel depressed afterwards. And I'm not saying all of Drake's music is like that, but my thing is this, right? The NFL got numerous artists that they could have contacted. They could have contacted a newer artist. They could have contacted an older artist. They could have contacted a country singer, a pop singer. They could have contacted absolutely anybody. They wanted Kendrick Lamar to do his halftime performance show. What's wrong with that? And then it'd just be funny where it's like, okay, come next year, they announce that. I'm trying to think of somebody. I really don't even know. Like, there probably are some groups and people out there, whether it's, like I said, whether it's a group or a solo artist that could be up there with Kendrick Lamar. But at the end of the day, I'm like, fam, he's been put in that same, just spectrum, that same ranking as Michael Jackson on when it comes to viewership. Ain't no other artists. And I feel like, there are probably some artists out there bigger than Kendrick Lamar where it's like, they couldn't pull that number. So that's what I'm looking at it. It's all like, you know what? My thing is this. I seen something in this performance. The NFL seen something before the performance. It's just anybody hating on Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, look, bro, if you got some issues with Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, that's on you, bro. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the show. I was a fan of the show. So that's why I'm like, I ain't even trying to hear nobody all like, look, bro, if you didn't understand the message of any of the songs that were performed, go on, like I said, find all the different, because it was Squabble Up, it was Peekaboo, it was TV Off, Not Like Us, Luther, All the Stars. I'm trying to think, I feel like there might have been another song. I could be wrong, but I feel like them are all the songs that at least I can remember that was performed and stuff. Yeah, look up all the lyrics to them songs that you get the explanation that you need to get. If you need to, and I'm like, yeah, I just think that, they're hearing like the news reporters, because somebody it was a pretty dope edit too, and it was of, they use Kendrick's song DNA, and then it starts off with like a newer version of news reporters all like, oh, I didn't like it. It's the message. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, why didn't you like the message? Why didn't you like what overall he was out there doing and stuff? What was wrong with it? What was wrong with black people making the United States flag and all that stuff? What was wrong with, showing how divided this country is, like the hidden messages within this performance and stuff? That's why I'm like, yeah, anybody out there along those lines talking about it, I ain't hearing it. And I'm all like, look, if you racist, just say that. But anyways, yeah, I just think that there are some people out there. I'm like, you know what? Anybody out there criticizing Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance, the thing is this: you ain't even gotta wait till the Super Bowl. Make a YouTube video. Do something 10 times better than Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, all right? And then just see where it goes from there, all right? But yeah, if you could go out there and do something better than showcase that, rather than sitting around criticizing this man. And I ain't trying to hear no stuff. Well, I'm not no artist. I'm not no. Squash all that. You're an artist. If you criticizing his art and everything that this man stands behind, then overall I'm like, then you have time to go out there and do something better than his. Until then, it's like, I ain't even trying to hear nothing about Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. Even if it was from a standpoint where I wasn't really a fan of it, still, he went out there and he did his thing. That's all that matters. So that's, I'm like, yeah, there's been times before. I think, wasn't there a year where Coldplay had performed at the halftime performance? I'm not a fan of Coldplay. I might like a song here and there of theirs. But overall, I'm like, yeah, I don't be listening to their music like how I listen to Kendrick Lamar's music. But my thing is this: I'm still giving them credit for their halftime performance. And then somebody was saying that there was like Morgan Wallen. They was like, oh, he should have did it. He has a more diverse fan and stuff. I'm like, so what? Kendrick Lamar ain't got no. I guarantee and I promise you, Kendrick Lamar got some white fans. So that's why I'm like, God, it's one of those things where, yeah, well, honestly, he does. I'm like, forget if you guys watch the Grammys, Taylor Swift was dancing to his music. And my thing is this: I'm all like, once I seen that, I'm like, yeah, Kendrick Lamar, this man's winning in life. When you got somebody on a scale of like just overall talking on music artists, when you got somebody like Taylor Swift dancing to your music, I'm saying at the end of the day, there ain't no bit of criticism in this world that will be able to tear me away from my dreams, all right? I ain't hearing nothing from nobody. So yeah, that's why I'm like, if you got an issue with Kendrick Lamar's music, then I'm like, then yeah, maybe you might be the issue. But yeah, it's like from people saying like, oh, then they was all like saying that, oh, the crowd, they was silent and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe the crowd might have been silent there, even though I've seen videos where the crowd was cheering. But if the crowd was silent, I'm like, what's wrong with people just sitting down and enjoying the music? I guess like that's one thing that I haven't heard yet. People are saying that, yeah, the crowd was silent, but I haven't heard people from that crowd saying, oh, I didn't like his performance, unless, yeah, they don't, I guess, like his message or don't overall like Kendrick Lamar. But I guess somebody that could appreciate art and just, everything that this man stands for, it's like, yeah, you ain't gonna be sitting around criticizing him. So that's why I'm like, I ain't even hearing nothing from nobody. I'm like, overall, I'm still going, the day I have grandkids, I'm gonna be telling them, yo, yeah, Kendrick Lamar killed it at his halftime performance. Until then, I'm like, I ain't seen nobody else do better besides Michael Jackson. But I'm like, yeah, and there's other artists where they did their thing too during their halftime performance. I'm not gonna criticize them. But overall, I'm like, it's just something where I'm like, I'm not really a fan of them, and it ain't got anything to do with their music or any of that. It's just I don't be sitting around listening to their music. So maybe that might be the case too. But I'm like, my thing is this: before I get to that point where I'm going to criticize them and everything that they've worked hard on to get to this point, I'm going to do some research before I just start criticizing them, their character, their messages, their music, and all that stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, with that being said, I'm like, yeah, y'all need to pick up a Martin Luther King book, or freaking something. I'm like, do some research, educate yourself in things. But anyways, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.